Ahoy, or should I say ho ho ho. Welcome to another episode of Rivals on the Pitch podcast. You can call it a holiday edition or whatever it is, because I'm just married today because of the outcome of our Rivals Week game. Well, today we're going to go over match week 17, and then we're going to see who's been naughty or nice, who got coal or who got gifts of a point or three. And then we're going to go over this week, which is also a double header, which is a mix of match week 18 and a bit of match week 19. We're going to see which team ends on a high and who starts the new year on the right foot. Of course, we'll take a look into the mini league and see how that's going. Let's see if all my other my partners are in the holiday spirit. By the way, I'm Randy.
I'm also in the holiday spirit. I'm Pat.
And I'm also in the holiday spirit. Can't wait for next year.
That's Scrooge, by the way.
No.
The Grinch?
Yeah, bah humbug.
You know.
All right, let's get right into it.
It's
Go ahead.
It's the rain that makes those sunny days feel better. And we're just in the rain right now. That's all.
I think you're in the middle of a hurricane. I don't think sunny days are coming soon.
No, that's Old Trafford. They're the ones with the leaky roof.
Let me tell you. Oh, did not expect that. But let's start off. Let's leave that one to the end. It was the last game of the weekend, so We'll leave the highlight game of the week towards the end. So let's start on Saturday. We opened up early with another. I want to say a shocker, but not really. It wasn't a shock. I feel like at this point, we're almost expecting this Manchester City train to continue to derail itself. So Aston Villa opened up at home against Manchester City, and they take all 3 points in a 2-1 game. Manchester City struggling to get anything. I believe they have one win out of 12 games at this point. They had a consolation goal at the very end by Phil Foden, but still no joy for them.
It's with this match, we weren't looking at who do you think is going to win. It was more like you weren't going to be surprised about who wins.
Yeah,
or you would be surprised about who wins. You weren't going to be surprised about who loses because these two teams haven't really been in the greatest of form. But Aston Villa kind of still in there. Man City just continues to fall. I think. When does it get to the point where you say, okay, what's the real issue, or how far do you think they're going to fall? A lot of people still think that they'll turn it around, but it almost looks, watching part of this game, it almost looks hard to see what the fix is. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what the fix for this club will be.
But what do you think about is turning around, though? What is turning around for Manchester City at this point? Finishing in top 4? Getting into Champions League?
Yeah, 5. Yeah,
I mean, turning it around, they got to start winning games, period.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just that they're losing games. They don't look like themselves because, you could lose a game maintaining possession, getting the most shots on target, and you could get hit on a counter once, twice, and then game over. But
they
don't look like themselves. So I think before thinking about getting the top 4, I think turning it around, in my opinion, just means getting back to their old selves because they were able to do it at the beginning of the season with Kovacic.
Yeah, and then what happened to him?
Well, that's true too, yeah.
And what's up with the goalkeeping? You just see it. It's one day it's Ederson and the other time it's Ortega. So I just don't know. I think he just doesn't know who he has faith in at the moment. I think he's just trying to like poke any holes in the sinking ship to see what works or not. But so far, it's not looking pretty good for them. I mean, good for Foden to get back because he was, how many games without a goal? And to finally get one, let's see if his confidence comes back up because Aaron Holland isn't doing anything.
It's a shame to come back and get a goal when you've been struggling as an individual player and then just have the goal basically mean nothing.
Yeah, especially at stoppage time, last minute.
Yeah, and then, like I said, it was just a consolation goal at the very end. Good in Aston Villa. I think the break from the Champions League has done them well. They've kind of recovered their Premier League form from last season and from the start of the season. I think the Champions League games were kind of wearing them down a little bit, but it seems like they're back on form. 3 wins out of 5, so I'm sure they can make that 4 out of 5 in the next 5. So,
but
I mean, they're
But I was going to say, after
They're
this
looking like a top
couple,
four.
after this stretch for them, I think Southampton has even had more points than they had in this since the beginning of their downfall, and that's pretty sad.
Well, they have 2 points out of the last 5. City have 4. So,
All right.
and close, but not. I mean, it's still terrible. But yeah I mean, I want to feel bad, but I just don't. Like, I see Pep trying to answer for the questions that they ask him. What's wrong? How do you fix it? And he's just like, oh, I'm proud of the team. Seems like he's just tired of it. But I'm like, dude.
Doesn't that sound like Erik Hagen in a bit? He just can't come up with the reason.
West Ham actually has more points than the last 5.
Oh, West Ham. Okay. Yeah, they do. They have 5 points. Yeah. Out of the last 5.
And they've beaten tied draw with teams that have beaten City at this point. I mean, at this point, you can't really talk much about teams that have beaten City, or everyone's beaten them at this point.
I guess we'll see if they do anything in the window. Obviously, they were very cautious this past summer. It's hard for me to believe Pep really thought that they would be okay. At the same time, you looked at the squad that they had and you thought there's no upgrading that team. It's a polished, fully functioning machine.
If everything would have kept going from how it went last year, with the momentum they had, but it didn't.
But even if you think about last year, Arsenal was right there. Why wouldn't you try to see what you can do to upgrade an already almost capped out,
stay ahead
team, right? Right, but you don't want to keep that race that close again. So why, bringing in Savinho, what has he really done? He was an unproven talent. Not that he's a bad player. I think he was a good signing, but you weren't looking any further into that, And I think there's something there that we just don't know about. And I think this winter transfer, if I'm a City fan, I wouldn't be too hopeful of there being any movement from City. But who knows? Maybe this streak of games might have made the ownership or whoever kind of look in the book, see where they can manage to get a few dollars put together to get some players in. But I mean, even still, you look at their players and their positions, you still have a lot of talent on that team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that talent
Jack Grealish isn't a bad player. I know he doesn't have a lot of time. So you can't say he is or isn't in form if you're not really playing. But at this point, why couldn't he just start? I'm sure he has plenty to prove and he wants to play,
Yep.
Like I said, I don't have any empathy,
Yeah, yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So Aston Villa move 1 spot above City now. Aston Villa sitting 6th with 28 points, tied on points with Bournemouth, who sit at 5th, and then City moved down to 7th with 27 points, and right behind them is Newcastle with 26. So it's going to be a fun musical chairs until the end of the season, and who gets those 5th and 6th, and even 4th.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys say?
It's all on there. It's all open.
It is open. But I don't want to get
not for Tottenham.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were talking, like Pat and I agreed, you needed 2 teams to do better. And I think we got those 2 teams doing better. Better than...
The season doesn't...
I think
the
season
thing is,
the season doesn't end in December.
I think it does for you, but for your.
But now, even if you want to get 6th or 7th, now you got to battle it out with City.
Yeah.
Now you got to add City to the mix.
They don't look that. We've beat them. We've beat them twice. They don't look bad. They don't look
good.
They're beatable. We're all beatable.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But he doesn't bring up a point. The 2 teams, you need everyone to be doing bad, but you need to be doing well yourself to get up there. But you're not doing well, and there's teams that are winning, so it's going to be a harder challenge for Tottenham. But we'll get to Tottenham later. But Aston Villa did what they needed to do at home.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have some center backs by then.
You will.
We'll see.
Their parents are dropping them off at the daycare. You'll be able to use them.
All right, so next game that we had was a couple 10 a.m. games. Brentford against Nottingham Forest. Brentford lose, and Nottingham Forest still winning. They at the time of this game, they had actually taken 3rd place, awaiting Arsenal's game, but they're sitting 4th, still in the top 4. Nottingham Forest looking good still.
Yeah, and they tallied their win games of the games won from last year already.
Yep.
So that's that's already a good sign for Nuno. But we'll see what they keep doing. I mean, they're playing well. It was a good game, but we'll see if they get into Europe. Honestly, I feel like they might get into 6th or 5th, but I just don't see them in Champions League. Honestly, but they're doing a good showing.
Why not?
I just think.
Well, I thought Spurs was going to take that spot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we all agree. Okay. Next.
Right now, I think it's going to be Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and I feel like it could be Newcastle or Aston Villa that take that last spot.
I think it's going to be Villa.
You're knocking City down, huh?
Yeah, City. Yeah, I think they're in for a rude awakening. They're not going to be in Europe, so that gives them time. But they got money. I mean, we'll see what happens with the charges. But yeah, I just don't.
They got money. We'll
I just
see.
don't think. I think this year they're not going to make top 4.
You guys don't think that City is doing this on purpose? And then this way, they feel bad for them. They're like, oh, they suffered enough. We'll subtract 2 points.
I feel like I didn't want to say it out loud, but there was a point earlier in the season where I was like, are they just trying to get sympathy points? Are they trying to be like, hey, don't kick us while we're down? I don't think that's the case because you're kind of making it worse for yourself.
It's more attention to you, and it's not good.
But it's funny when this season when these allegations or whatever investigation is happening, and it's the season that they're dropping. I mean,
so they're doing they're trying to do the puppy eye thing, the sad puppy eyes.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no, but it's just okay, is it just too much pressure? But or what's going on? But I mean, it's not the players that should be feeling the pressure; it's the organization itself. They haven't done the ownership,
anything,
but. What's happening on the field is they're not going to court. They're not the ones standing trial, so I don't know. Why do you think so?
No, but it's worth pointing out. I did think about it, but when I think about it, give it more thought, I just think it's just too much. It's too much. But who knows? I mean, anything's possible, but I don't personally believe it. I think it's good pointing out. Worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Mr. Megamind Pep himself is coming up with some sort of plan.
All right. So next game we had Newcastle away to Ipswich, and they win 4-0. Alexander Isak with a hat trick. Actually, I think he knows that Arsenal are coming for him, and he just wants to put on the best show possible.
No, you guys have your Gabriel Jesus. You guys are just he's the next coming. Everyone's claiming.
Oh yeah, right.
How he's the second coming.
Yeah, right. It's a perfect time to show right near his birthday, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a birthday boy. I was gonna say before he came to Arsenal, I remember people were making fun of the whole scenario because he was rumored to come to Arsenal, and then he scored a hat trick all of a sudden at City, first hat trick for City. And funny enough, there were some links with him, exiting Arsenal, and then he scored a hat trick away at Palace. But I mean, yeah, Isak, he's just a level above,
Oh yeah, I wonder how much. I wonder if he's even for sale. If there's even a number that can be presented to Newcastle to be like, hey, we'll take him. I don't think Newcastle is willing to let him go.
I mean, if they keep this up,
I feel like they have to sell.
If they keep this up and they're in Champions League, I don't think they'll sell. If they fall short of it, I think they might be a little more enticed to sell because Isaac probably would maybe force something.
I think they have to conform. They have to sell. I think they have to make profits to stay within.
Yes, but I did see that they were looking at someone else to sell instead of Isak, which would
probably.
They have plenty of talent.
Taluni?
Yeah.
Apparently, he doesn't want to stay there. Hey, we'll take him. I'll take him.
I'll pay for him.
I'll take out a loan for Tottenham. I'll pay for him.
We did have someone on one of our reels comment that Newcastle. We mentioned them on a previous episode where they kind of have to step it up now. They made Champions League once, and that's kind of been the highlight of their up there uprising again, and they kind of need to step it up. But one of our, I guess, listeners mentioned that they just don't have the money to do that. So I think it's been clever business up until now, but unlike Arsenal and the Emirates and Tottenham and their new stadium and Liverpool and their new extension, they just don't have the money right now to bring in more players of the same caliber of Isaac and Guimaraes and
But you did mention
they have so.
Guimaraes. Yeah, he has been noticed as believed as one that they're willing to listen to offers for. So I mean, you can probably get good bucks off of him. But yeah, he was one of the players that was mentioned that they might sell along with Tonali. But we'll see.
Like you said, if they get Champions League, then it's almost money confirmed that you can bring in.
Yeah.
If they don't, then they might be forced to let somebody go.
Yeah. But I don't think nothing's going to be done from them, like selling wise, in the winter window. I think they have to see how it ends, and then the summer window, transfer window is when things will happen. But for now, I see. So
I think it's going to have to be.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be Eze for Arsenal then, with no choice.
He's not even on Newcastle.
Let me dream. Let me dream.
Yeah, he's still dreaming about.
He wasn't even there. He was so disgusted. He didn't want to show up to play against you. He's like, why? They're beneath me.
All right, next game, we had West Ham at home hosting Brighton.
Brighton.
Good game.
Dropping points.
Well, they were away, a point away.
I mean, it was a good.
Is that not a good?
Yeah, at least anything away is good as long as it's not a loss. But they was theirs to win. They had the lead. Kudos to Kudos for that goal.
He's such a good player, man.
Yeah, that was
I would take him. And West Ham not doing as good as we expected with the squad that they have. I'm sure they expected to get some sort of Europe, especially after winning the Conference League. I think they were looking to make a step towards either Europa. I think Champions League would be too much of an ask, but why not?
No, yeah, of course. But they've woken up though. They're actually getting results now.
How come you guys don't talk this nice
about what?
About us?
About.
But yeah, you guys are praising 14th place West Ham. I'll get out of here. No, you're right. But do you think because they did bring in all the talent this summer window?
But it's their first window. I mean, it's their first season, so I think you give them a chance. I think the coach's job is safe because they're safe from relegation for now. They're getting points. Which is what they want. I think they're finding their stride. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, West Ham, like I said, just woke up. They're playing well. They got a point at home, so that's good for them. That's what you need. You need points, 1 point or 3 points, but you just can't afford to get those losses. And they got a point against a Brighton, which is a strong team.
I guess it's not a bad point for Brighton, but
yeah, Brighton's it's a good team, right?
Yeah, but like we said, Brighton has been inconsistent. So I mean, it's just showing their inconsistency in this game.
I'm excited to see what they do next season, especially with this new manager, because they started off hot, but they've kind of like mellowed down. So I want to see what he brings in and how he upgrades that squad.
Yeah,
they're always an exciting team. Yeah.
No, not a ton of standouts in that squad this season, but they've been doing it. There's always, I feel like the past 3 seasons, there's always been 1 or 2 players who are on their way out just because they've been highlighted. They've highlighted their skills so much at Brighton, but this season, not too much.
Are you sure?
Only one is Pedro.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And then there's always Mitoma.
That's true. He's been kind
of, but I feel like he's kind of their player now.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's.
And
he's almost like that staple piece.
Yeah, and they're talking about Baleba, who's like 20 years old, future.
Oh, Baleba is good.
Yeah, so you got some players, but you had persons like Ferguson, who was supposed to be the next best thing, and he's just went down. But I mean, but you do have some good players.
I think he was last year he was going for 100 million. Now, I think it's like 25 or maybe that's probably lowballing it, but he's probably between that 40, 50 range. I mean, he's 20, so we'll see. But
too old for Tottenham, right?
Yeah,
He's got facial hair.
You got hair on your chest. Get out of here.
They still need to be able to sign the permission slip. That's what they do.
You can drive. Get out of here.
Your curfew's at 10.
But he was actually he was linked with Manchester United, so we'll see.
He was, yeah.
We'll see who wants to go there anymore.
I mean, they can't even spend money, but we'll see. That's another topic, though.
All right, so next game and last game of Saturday, we had Crystal Palace at home hosting Arsenal for the second time after the League Cup. And Arsenal absolutely hammer Crystal Palace. For all those that say that we can't attack, well, here you go. And you know, what I will say is a lot of teams have been doing this thing that I think Monaco did against us in the Champions League to try to offset us overloading the box on corners. They started pushing players more up the field so that Arsenal feel like they have to pull back and not put so many people in the box. And then we just been tapping the ball in when there's no one in defense. So there's no stopping us. We're gonna win the league. Clip it.
Really? Even without your star boy Saka?
I know, that was a shame. I think it's been confirmed now, 4 to 6 weeks out. Saka, the hamstring issue. I mean, he plays a lot of minutes. He's young, so I think he can afford it. But you know, as most wingers, you know, you just get kicked and probably.
Well, I know.
Yeah, but it seemed like it was a no contact injury, so it's things that happen. Yeah, so same thing with Rodri. I mean, he was no contact injury, but his was basically had to be.
But do you still have like high hopes? I mean, you still have Odegaard, but I mean, Saka is a big piece of the puzzle. Do you still think you'll be able to find? I mean, Martinelli did score, so I mean that's somewhat helping a bit.
Yeah.
But do you still think you still have a good games without Saka until he comes back?
Yeah, I think when this happened, they brought in Trossard to play on the left like he usually does, and they actually moved Martinelli on the right wing, and he looked like a different player. It seemed like just the right type of thing he needed to bring a refresher, because it almost seems like he's starting from scratch and not. I've mentioned before, he kind of became this like systematic winger where he's like doing what he's been told to do, and he kind of stopped adding his own little flavor to his game. But in moving him to the right wing, it almost seems like he had a lot more freedom to do what he needed to do, take players on, use his speed, and it was so good to watch. Aside from that, we also saw Waneri come in, and I think he can also play on the right-hand side. So I think we have options. Raheem Sterling, unfortunately, suffered a knee injury, so he's also going to be out for a few weeks. So it's going to have to be up to those two. Martinelli's going to have to fill in, and Waneri is going to get his chance. So I think we have someone who's looking to kind of bring back his form, and someone who's looking to prove a point, say that I can be a starter in this team. So I think that should be able to help us over the line, but I'm still hoping that there is some movement in the January window, because we desperately need more attacking options.
So attacking is what you're looking for?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because now it's getting to the point where when teams don't sit back, this is what we can do. And Crystal Palace came out to play in the League Cup game. We won that comfortably, even though it was just a goal difference. We did win that comfortably. This one seemed like a more battled out game. Like it seemed more difficult to beat them this time, but we still were able to manage. And I think Crystal Palace committed a lot of players forward, which gave us a lot more room to do what we do. So I think the issue that we have to fix is when teams sit back and defend like Everton and Fulham. And we need more options to be able to break those teams down. So hopefully there's movement. There's a lot of players that I think that have been rumored already. Jesus being in form, I think is just, that should be just another option to have.
Do you hate the timing of that?
I mean, I'm never going to complain about a player coming back to form. You know what I mean? He's been
right.
But right. I think that just gives more competition. If someone comes in, let's say we this is just wishful thinking, but let's say we do get a Gyökeres or some other striker. Now you just have competition for that spot. Someone who comes in is going to want to try to make an impact, and then Jesus is going to want to try to keep that spot. especially with Saka out now. There's more options for more players to move around the top three attackers. So I think it's good timing considering that now there's that more room available. They have more options.
But do you honestly think you're gonna be able to get a striker or the striker you need, or
no?
Okay, that's what I'm because I know this type of window you're gonna overprice and no one's gonna, especially if you're going after a striker and that striker's probably producing on that team, they're not gonna be willing to sell.
Yeah,
so
Arteta said that he said typically there's not a lot of movement in January, and he said, but you never know, anything can happen. So what about
for defenders? What about for your defense?
Nah, I think we're good in defense. I mean, we did have a little bit of an issue earlier in the season, a couple of red cards, and then just mistimed injuries and stuff like that. But I think that was almost like just terrible timing. But I just don't see it happening again. And I think everyone else has been up to speed. Lewis Skelly, or now 18-year-old left back, he's been shining, man. He's been so good. He started 2 games back to back, and he's just got a lot of strength. It looks like he's like eager to bring the ball up front. He's not afraid to carry the ball, which is nice. And then Calafiore's getting a few minutes. So like I said, I think you're in Timber. I think also he's just been trying to get more fitness, and then I think we can manage with that until the summer, and then we'll see, who stays, who goes, or whatever.
All right, heard.
We'll see. Like I said, I think Arteta's comments, just what that says to me is, there could be something that could happen, but it has to be the right price. It has to be the right player. And if it's not there, we're not going to take a chance or a risk. So most likely nothing will happen. But, I'm hopeful.
Would you be?
You never know.
Would you be content as it stays as it is?
I just think that there's still. I do think that this is still Liverpool's title to lose. I think it's theirs unless I do think that they have another. I think there's a dip in the road for them to hit still. I just don't think we'll catch up anyway, because even though when Liverpool drop a few points here and there, I think so will Arsenal. I think we'll be good and consistent probably till the end of the season, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. So I think if we were serious about pressing Liverpool, something has to be done, but I just don't think that would happen.
Yeah, because it's just going to be overpaying.
Right, yeah. Unless you got 100. It might not even be
the right, and it might not even be the right player.
Yeah.
That's why I think the whole Gabriel Jesus, him coming to form right now, it's not a bad thing, but it could also be almost misleading, and where the team is like, you know what? Well, actually, it might be a good thing for the team because they're not going to go out here and spend. But if they were looking to spend that money, they might be a little bit more hesitant now.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that worries me about him coming back into form is like, oh, well, now we don't need to spend. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do think we need now to continue evolving as a team, continue upgrading every piece of the puzzle. We'll see how Champions League goes. If we get even farther this time, maybe that means that they pump more money into it. But we'll see. All right, moving on to Sunday. So we started off Sunday with Everton at home hosting Chelsea. I've been on a hot streak. Unfortunately, they could not put any past Everton. 0-0. This is it looked like it was raining cats and dogs during this game, and they said that the weather looked just as bad as the game that got canceled when they were hosting Liverpool, but they didn't cancel this one.
Weird.
Weird, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird. Whatever.
Weird.
I don't know.
Weird.
What's your source? Whatever. But I'll let you speak.
Everton only losing 1 out of their last 5 matches, with 1 win, 3 draws. And guess who didn't get to play them? That's weird.
The team that was coming back from two draws. That's weird.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's weird.
Back to back.
Asterisk.
Okay.
You guys love throwing asterisks on everything, but I mean.
Yeah.
But Everton.
I mean, if you did it fair, then it'll be okay. But
what's fair? It's everyone has a different opinion what's fair is. But let's give credit to Everton. When it comes to defending, they can defend their asses off. I didn't expect them to be a draw. I was hoping for the best, and this was the best case scenario for Liverpool. But I think Chelsea should have been able to manage to get a point. But like we said, sometimes Pickford has one of these games where nothing gets past them. And I think that was the type of game he had that day.
Everton actually had a few opportunities to take these 3 points
Yeah,
home.
true. They did. They had a really good opportunity.
It's funny when we started our little conversation and our little talks of, Everton's they're gonna have the biggest stadium in the Championship League. You know,
They hear the podcast too.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt when they get relegated, but they ever since then, it's like you said, they start their season late. They're sitting in 15th with a game in hand, so good for them. They got Man City next, so.
Didn't they just have like a buyer Everton or something like that?
Oh yeah, they got new owners. They approved it. Yes. So I mean,
they approved it.
Yes, it's been approved. They have new ownership, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, if they stay in the Premier League, I think good things are going to be coming for them. But
they're staying. I think they're too stubborn to drop.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe.
Yeah, I did already.
I'm starting to believe.
I think, they don't drop. They're too stubborn. They're like cockroaches. They're hard to kill. And I mean that in a compliment, you know.
Wow, shady.
It's Liverpool is blue, so let's go Everton.
Atlin is colorblind, so he doesn't see red. That's why.
I only see blue.
Yeah, because you're blue right now because of the beating Liverpool gave Spurs. But we'll get to that.
Oh, black and blue.
Yeah, black and blue, bro.
That's gonna be their eyes when we get to this cup match.
You're gonna get to the cup with the permission slip. The parents let them go to play,
and then you're gonna see the real us.
I think we did see the real you.
Yeah.
Nah, we're faking it like Pep.
Oh,
looking for sympathy points. All right, so we move on to Fulham. Fulham at home hosting Southampton, and Southampton keep a clean sheet, and they get a point away at Fulham with Aaron Ramsdale back in goal with the glove with the four fingers.
Yeah,
did you guys see that?
Yeah, he's doing that Star Trek logo.
Look like a Mickey Mouse hand.
Yeah,
right.
But
it looked like one of those AI hands.
Yeah, Fulham, they just couldn't put it away, I guess.
They got a little bit of taste of their own medicine, huh?
They did. That was satisfying.
But surprised though. I thought Fulham was going to win it, honestly, especially being at home and having that momentum. Yeah. But give it credit to Southampton for fighting for their life and getting these points. I mean, they're trying to get out of relegation, but I think it's a little bit too late for that.
Do we think? Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Do we think Robinson is moving anywhere at the end of the season?
Depends to what team. I did hear
at the end of the season. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of what's rumors about him. He's one of the best left backs right now, and there are teams that need left backs, and I think so.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But I mean, Fulham might offer him a contract extension or something, but boost up his pay. Yeah. We'll see what happens. There's still plenty of soccer to go, but
especially depending on where they land on the table.
Yes, exactly. If they get into Europe, I think he might stay, Europa League or whatever. But I think he might stay.
Conference even.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing well. He's getting his minutes. You know, a lot of things can happen if you go to a bigger team. I'm not saying anything, but Americans really don't get that much playing time when they go to these big teams. But we'll see what happens. I mean, he's putting up numbers, so it's good.
They'll make these big splashes, and then boom, that's it. You know, It's like, we're signing this, this American player, blah, 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 and then before you know it, they're just riding the bench, and you're like, man, he shouldn't have left. But yeah.
He looks like a Chelsea player to me, but
yeah,
I mean, there's rumors for Liverpool going after him. I mean, but we'll see. I mean, I do think he might. If he is, he's making a jump to a big top 6 team. That's for sure.
So not Tottenham.
Nope. No Tottenham.
I don't see him going. If anything, I see him going out the league.
No, I think he would stay in the Premier League. This is familiar. He knows everything. Why go to
Premier League proven defender left back?
You don't want to go somewhere and it's going to be a little difficult. He knows what this.
But then again, if you're Fulham, you're selling to your competition, you up the price.
Yeah, but those teams that are going to sell to, they can afford him. That's the thing. He's not going to go to like Wolves or Bournemouth. They're going to go to teams that have money that can pay the extra fee.
No, I'm talking about there's top teams in other leagues that are, but then again, paying for premier proven talent is a lot more expensive for these other teams.
Yeah.
I could see him at Villa, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's talking about Liverpool.
I think he'll be outside.
Liverpool, because of Andy Robertson, he's getting up in age and he's been inconsistency, but he's been talks about him. But of course, you're not going to, because we just beat the living crap out of
so
you.
he's going to. So Trent is leaving and he's coming in.
Trent
Robinson,
plays right. Robinson plays left for Andy Robinson. But whatever.
He's not He's not good. He's not good enough to play both flanks. Trent Alexander. That's why.
That's right.
Urian Timber is better.
Oh, Timber! I think someone chopped that tree down long ago.
No, but I do think he would fit in at Liverpool, especially because Robertson. He got retired by Saka, and then we had that weird red card. I think it's time for him to.
You see, he's got to bring in Arsenal into whatever conversation, just because they got to stay relevant. But it is what it is. Bring up Saka, but Saka's going to be at home for the next couple weeks. Let's see what Arsenal do without him.
Okay, just wait till you get an injury to your one player, your one Van Dijk or Salah, or just wait. It's okay.
Salah plays the same position as Saka, and he's older in age, and yet he's already. He does defend.
He just waits for the penalties. Waits for the penalties.
Okay, whatever. Well, we'll just say Salah has already matched Saka's best Premier League season in December. What is that to say?
But you're talking about a player. You're matching up to Saka. Saka's 22. He's got 10 years ahead of him before he can.
He's a young. He's a star boy, and yet he spends more time on the
star
injured
boy.
Yeah,
not finished player. He's not even in his prime yet.
But you're talking about him like he's like Jesus, the next coming, and yet he's. You got Salah, who's 32, who's going to be 33 at the end of the season, who is making more money.
He retired Robertson.
That's fine.
He sat him down, sent him for a hot dog.
And now Saka is sitting down at home watching Arsenal play without him. Boys made out of glass.
We do okay.
But
that's okay.
I can't wait until Liverpool has a.
All right, let's wait. Let's go.
That's their starter.
We had one
to the bench. So when Joe Gomez goes down and they have to dig deep into their bench, we'll see.
Well, that's not our fault. We have depth.
I will say this. I give it to them for staying healthy.
We have depth as well, so it is.
Maybe that's why they want to play Everton.
Bring in Everton. All right, where did we leave off to? Now we're going to Leicester and Wolves. The mighty Wolves.
All right, let's go.
Woo!
Jesus,
the Foxes versus the Wolves. This is this Wolves' first game without a head coach, right?
No, I believe their new coaches came in. Yes, and he speaks Portuguese.
That's right.
So he's talking.
But he didn't take over this game, did he? Or
he did.
Okay.
Yeah, this was his first game.
They come in and they'll watch the first game,
No,
yeah, but I don't know if he might have watched.
I think he played, honestly. Because
he played?
He played?
No, I mean, he can do it all. I mean,
impressive.
That's a good manager.
Yes, but
lead from the front.
Yes, exactly. Leading by example. But no, I think he was in charge with this Wolves team.
Well, good on him. First win. Turned this team right around. And not to say that Leicester's like the hardest team in the world, but they're not the easiest either.
They're in a transition with a new coach as well. It was a good showing for Wolves.
You guys excited for the Jamie Vardy Netflix special documentary?
We'll see. Let's see. We should make a drinking game out of it.
There's one coming up?
Yeah. We should make a drinking game out of it. How many Red Bulls he drinks during the whole documentary. Every time
he drinks a Red Bull,
we take a shot.
We got to drink a Red Bull.
Yeah. Exactly.
The whole thing.
There you go. There's a fun game for you guys to try at home.
A Red Bull?
We chug a Red Bull.
Yeah. You do Coke.
But yeah, good on Wolves. I'm glad to see them. Is it too late for them, or?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be between them and Leicester. No. I think they can still pull it out. I believe it's going to be Ipswich and Southampton, and it's going to feel like it's going to be these two teams,
and who
Wolves
else?
And Leicester, going for it.
So one of them's going down.
One of them is going down.
So you don't think Ruben Nistelrooy is going to save Leicester?
I don't think so. I think but he'll bring them back up. I believe that, but I just think it's going to be between Wolves and Leicester. But I feel Wolves, they still got Kuna. They still got all these good players. I just think they're going to be able to pull it out. Just like Everton, they're a cockroach. They're going to find a way. But yes, there you go. Thank you, Alan, for that one.
Why would you say such a thing?
Wow, my God. I guess we'll see if they turn it around. Then we had Manchester United at home hosting Bournemouth, and Bournemouth take all 3 points by 3 goals. It seemed like things were starting to turn around with Rude. They bring in a real manager who had been undefeated in his league with Benfica, and he just can't replicate
Benfica,
at least yet. These aren't his players. So I'm sorry,
Sporting. Yes.
Yeah, there we go, Sporting. But yeah, I know these aren't his players, but did he have a better squad over at Sporting, or is this just like a misfit of players that he's got to Manchester United?
He had his system down. He had his way of playing. He knew who he had.
Yeah, he had
knew
time.
His player strengths and weaknesses. He was a manager, right? Here, he's assessing, he's leaving players out of the squad. He's bringing in different talents, trying different lineups. I didn't think it was going to be this bad because you have proven talent on this team, right? But I think he needs to assess.
Do you have proven talent though?
I mean,
I think you had with Rashford, Garnacho, Fernando. But I just think he's picking up someone's mess.
Ugarte.
Yeah.
Ugarte. Yeah, he's good. Fernandez. But he just got to the league too.
Yes.
So is he proven?
He wasn't a bad player.
But it's different.
That's true.
But it's different. The French league compared to this league. So it's different. Everyone needs time. And then again, these were Eric de Hagen's players. So he has to do with what he has right now. At least I like that he has at least going with Højlund up top, which is guaranteed. But he's working it out with he's trying to do like that back three type thing. But you have to get the right players for it. Some players like Martinez looks out of it sometimes. It's just I think this season I think this season is basically going to be like forget trying to win. I think it's just trying to see what players can experiment. See what players are going to be able to fit in your system and try to do and sell. You have to sell. You're not going to get anything in this winter window because all that money that has been spent already in the summer, you're stuck with what you got. You got to just make do with what you have. That's it.
I do understand that, but at the same time, they're currently 13th in the league. They're on 22 points. I think 17th spot, the last spot before relegation is on 14. So it is, 6, 7, 8 points. Yeah, that is a big gap. But they mentioned that this is their lowest position
in years
by Christmas since 1986, I believe.
Yeah. Oh my, that's crazy.
I get it. I don't think there's any saving of this season, but at the same time, you have to be careful. Not to say that they're going to get relegated, but
I think what sucks is because it's Manchester United.
The name,
this league doesn't really allow for rebuilds, and it definitely doesn't allow Manchester United for a proper rebuild.
They've been doing a proper rebuild for how long now?
Yeah, they've been rebuilding for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So right now, Ruben's stepping into this. Omri is stepping into this team that's. Come on, look at the transfer window. Look who they brought in. No offense to Xerxes, but
he listens. Listens.
Oh, sorry, dude, but you're not. Is he cut out to be the Manchester United?
But I think he's better in the High School Musical.
But again, he is young.
Playing basketball.
Again, he is young, and that the potential is hopefully they can grow into that.
Yeah,
but then again, that is Eric de Hagen's player.
Him leaving.
Yeah, but that's Eric de Hagen's player. This isn't Ruben's player, so he might change. That's
what I'm saying.
Why he might leave. But
so we can't be sitting here thinking, "Oh, this team is done." Of course, they're going to go through this a rough patch, but hey, he's going to figure it out. I actually thought it sucks. Not that it sucks. I thought him coming in, I was expecting a lot more. And I was like, oh man, here's another team we got to be careful for.
Yeah.
We got to watch out for. But
I expected more as well. I think it's been a complete disappointment. No big deal. He's probably finding a way out of his contract, trying to go back to Sporting.
Yeah.
He looked real happy over there at Sporting, and now he looks.
I think he got gray hairs going on. That's what happens real quick.
I think he'll turn it around, though. I think they need to give him some time, and he'll replicate what he did over there. But he's got a big mess to.
And he's got to get a lot of players out
Yeah.
because a lot of players are on some big contracts with wages and they're just on the bench, like Anthony, for example. We don't know what's going to happen with Anthony, Harry Maguire,
hope he
these
goes
type
to
of
Arsenal.
players. We got to see what happens.
Less about Man United, more about Bournemouth.
Oof.
This Dean kid, he's there was talks about him in the summer, and he's a good player. He's young.
And what about the coach? He has beaten
How
4
old
big
is he?
6-team managers already. Arsenal 2-0, Man City 2-1, Tottenham 1-0, and just finishing it off with Man United 3-0. It's a good showing from him.
Liverpool are next.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
you guys
see.
are next.
Yeah, we'll see. Wonder what the other big
Can't wait.
16. Oh, Chelsea too. That's what they need. But I mean, it's a good showing from them. They're pulling wins out against big teams. It's not a surprise that they would have beat Man U, especially since they're not in the best
That's true.
form
Yeah.
right now. I think anyone can beat them, just like Man City. But
I think the shocker was that it was such a demoralizing loss for United. You didn't expect them to basically not put up a fight. You know what I mean? To be beaten at home 3-0, that's completely different than losing 2-1 or 1-0. You know what I mean? But they just looked like there was nothing going on there. But obviously, lots to fix, and he's got a half a season to at least get people believing that he could do something. Maybe
Right,
with more
that's heading in
players.
the right direction.
I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think fans just want to see is these players at least just fight for it. Just give it their all. You know, run, make a tackle. I guess that's what fans want to see right now. They know that this season is lost. There's no chance of them getting whatever expectations they had. I think they just want to see as their team fight and pray for that the season ends tomorrow because they want to restart. They want to start from zero.
I think we've all been in that spot, at least in the last
the
years that we have been following, where we just like mid-season, you're just like, "Ugh, I just want to restart already." Like it's so painful too.
Yeah.
I feel for them, but at the same time, good luck. I don't care.
Yeah, every team has their moments, and they had their good run with Fergie. That wasn't going to last forever. We dealt it with Arsenal, Liverpool dealt with it. Spurs are always dealing with it, but that just happens.
Ooh. So, all right.
You weren't talking like this last season, but okay.
Okay.
Well, last season we didn't have the podcast, all right?
Okay.
Last season we didn't have a podcast.
We can't compete. Klopp left us. Help.
All right. So moving on to the highlight game of the week.
Woo woo.
Woo, woo.
Alan, nothing from you?
Oh no, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Oh.
So we had Tottenham Hotspur hosting in their stadium, Squid Game Stadium, Liverpool, top of the league, and Spurs take a loss, a 3-6 loss, a shocker of a scoreline, would you say? I think we all expected there to be goals and many, but definitely not this many. Do you guys want to hear my opinion at all, or do you guys
Go
want to dive
ahead.
into it
Yo,
yourselves?
give your opinion.
Yeah, go
give
for
your
it.
opinion.
Spurs fooled me. I thought they had a little more in them. I think, and I think it was Jamie Carragher. I think one of you guys sent me his comment, and I feel like I have to agree. I do agree with some of the fans that are still backing Postecoglou and his style of play. I think if you believe in what you're doing, you have to do it even when you're down and you're defeated. You have to believe, and that's how you get better. And that's how these players who are essentially bench players, that's how you get them to do the job that starting players are doing, right? If you want like defenders to be able to be as good as Romero and as good as Van de Ven, and you want your bench essentially to do the same job and not there to be a big drop off when you have to rely on your bench players. I think you can only get the best experience by doing what the manager's asking you to do, and you do it in the good times, the bad times. You believe in what you're doing, and I think there has been a shift at Tottenham Hotspur with Postecoglou, but at the same time, while I totally understand that, I do agree with Jamie Carragher, and I just think in the situation that Spurs are in with so many injuries, I just can't believe that at no point before this game or during this game that he did not want to just change anything at all. And they did look like they could make a comeback, but by risking so much, they ended up conceding even more goals to Liverpool. So I just, it's hard for me to just believe that this is the right thing for the club when there is just no flexibility in what they're doing, and to concede this many goals. I mean, if they were to have lost 3-0 Spurs, I feel like it wouldn't have looked as bad. And it's still just only a 3-goal difference, but to concede 6 goals overall just looks so much worse. And that's it. That's all I got.
I agree to a certain extent, but I think the way we played was I won't say a lot different, but there was a slight variation of how we play. I don't think it was like that Chelsea game of last year. I feel like that Chelsea game from last year is cemented in people's minds, and that's all they think we do, and that's all they kind of put us in that, like that when they see that you know, that image that's always popping up of us playing a high line against Chelsea. I think that was just, you know, why not try to go out and win the game? But I think that's what people think we are constantly, and I get it. We are attacking, but there was some level we didn't press that game like we usually do. But yeah,
I mean, it's hard to press when I think Liverpool had most of the possession, anyways, as well, and you didn't have your full starting lineup, but it just wasn't a good look for Spurs. Honestly, you guys didn't even look like you were playing at home. It looked like we were playing at Anfield because of the way we were just dominating the game. Now I understand why Chelsea called it 3-point lane.
Are we gonna get into this, or?
Oh, you want to get? I mean, you can still go. I mean,
yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
So to be honest, we all knew it was gonna be more likely that Liverpool was gonna win, right?
Yeah.
But winning in this fashion wasn't what we expected scoreline wise. Did we expect to win? Not so much. It was more of that high hopes, convincing yourself like, well, we just beat Man United. Here we go. Like, maybe there's a chance. I'm actually not that upset over this loss, even though it's a 6-3. And like you said, yeah, a 3-0. So honestly, I'd rather have a 6-3 than a 6-0. At least it looks like we have a fighting chance, right? To me, it shows me that we're deeper into this rebuild than we want to admit. This needs to be a big sign to Levy saying, hey, you need to fucking, excuse my language, you need to you need to open up that checkbook and let's get some players in. And I'm not talking about 17, 18, 19-year-olds in some other leagues that, no offense to the K League, but hey, let's get a 17-year-old from the K League and see how he does. He's one of their best players. I'll need some proven talent, some veterans that can come here, even if they don't start. Hey, at least they're on the bench, ready to come in and play, and maybe fighting for a starting position. We don't have that right now. We do have our center backs out, our 3 center backs. You have Van der Ven, Romero, and then Ben Davis. Ben Davis and Dragu weren't playing bad together. But now you have Archie Gray, who's a midfielder playing in there, and he actually didn't have that bad of a game.
I agree.
Madison wasn't consistent.
But Madison, I believe, was your best player during that game.
No, I don't think so. It was to me, it was Kulusevski. Madison couldn't hold on to the ball, and going back to the transfer window, we've been playing with the same squad through domestic cups, through the Europa, through the Premier League. These guys are we're going to have another injury before we know it. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have another injury, a severe injury before the end of the year. We have 2 more games, and I could see someone going down because of it. It's the style of play and the lack of depth that we have. If we have depth, but they're not trusted. And so if they're not trusted, then why are they on this team? If they're here for the Cup League, then put them in the Cup League. But I think Ange messed up, and he said, "I'll win things." I win things, right?
Yeah.
My second year, I win things, and guess what? He's probably trying to prove that, and he probably starting to feel that pressure. So he's making sure that when he goes out there and plays Europa and plays the cup games, that he has his best starting 11. I mean, of course, we want to see our best starting 11, right? You need to rest these players, and this game showed some of our guys looked
gassed,
sluggish, gassed. The only player that really was out there doing anything was Kulusevski and Spence. And Spence, that's his second start, and that's why I think he looked good out there. But like I said, this doesn't bother me, the loss, but this needs to be
addressed.
A sign. It needs to be a big sign and a big indicator to Levy to say, hey, stop doing it your way. Your way hasn't worked in the last 20 years. I'll say I'm still Anjin, but he can't do it with these players, and he can't do it with just young talent. I don't want to be good in 3 years, because by the time 3 years comes, who else are we going to have? Nobody's want to be. Who's to say that they're even going to be willing to play for Tottenham if this is how we're playing? So it's.
I mean,
but I will say we almost had a comeback. So
almost
at a certain point, it looked like it could have been.
I know. I got excited. I got it in my little head, and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, but I mean, I do agree with some things you said. I agree that Archie Gray, he was out of position, but he did have moments. But then again, that's not position he plays. But yeah, your team did look tired, and I agree with what Carragher said. And I do think you do need to experience. You're playing with too many young kids. It's not going to help. This is I don't want to say it's like a grown man league, but that's what you need to help. I think that's what you got to go for in the transfer window. Hopefully you get the experience, but that of course is if Ange and Levy can compromise on that. But I agree. I thought this was going to be a closer game, honestly. I didn't think it was going to be a 9-goal game. Now it's my turn to say, but I think everyone that needed to show up during this game showed up. I honestly agree. I felt like we were playing at home at Anfield because the way we were playing, dominating the game and everything.
Because you guys didn't get that penalty on Sunny.
Whatever. But now you can't say we didn't have a penalty.
I do think that was a little weird, but I mean, it wouldn't have changed much. I mean, if you look at the scoreline,
whatever. But I mean,
that was a turning point. What do you mean? That was a turning point.
Whatever. I mean, did we get? You can talk about Mo Salah getting penalties. We didn't have no penalty this game. All these goals we had were beautiful goals. Mo Salah, 2 goals, 2 assists. Trent with 1 assist. Dominic Szoboszlai doing the run-in, winning the balls. 1 goal, 1 assist. Your Pana, your Parce, Luis Diaz scoring 2 goals. McAllister with 1 goal. I think everyone just played well. I think the 2 goals that we gave you guys, I mean, Madison's goal, that was a beautiful goal. I give him credit on that. But I think from then on, when you had the Kulusevski goal and the Dominic Solanke goal, I think that was just us maybe taking the foot off the gas for a bit. But, that woke us up. And what happened? We went and responded. But I just think it was a good showing from Liverpool. Just to throw out some stats there, because I just got to. Mo Salah now is the first player to have double digits in goals and assists before Christmas Day, which has never been done yet, just to show you that he's getting better with age. So Liverpool...
Yeah, he's going to be pretty good for the next team.
Yeah. So if you guys are listening, give Mo that contract, please. But I just think,
he's going to kill it in the Saudi League.
Yeah, he could, but maybe not. We'll see. But so far, I'm hopeful. I'm still thinking of like that perfect Virgil van Dijk signing when he was with the Christmas tree. I would love to see that with Virgil, Mo Salah, and Trent. That'd be perfect.
Virgil still won't sign the contract. They said Liverpool said it was on the table, and he said, I haven't signed anything yet.
Yeah, but Virgil said there's no
Man City 2.0.
Virgil said there's no deadline for Liverpool. They're still working. Everything is working. I know there's a lot of rumors saying that Mo Salah got a 2-year contract, but I'd just rather wait and see. I don't want to get too much into reading these rumors online. But what can I say?
You're going to win the league, but at what cost?
Well, what cost?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't.
Let me give you a scenario. You win the league this season, but you lose Salah and Van Dijk, or you keep Mo Salah and Van Dijk, but you don't win the league this season?
To be honest, I think if anything, I think we might lose one of the three. I don't think we would lose two out of three.
Answer the question.
Yeah, answer the question. One or the other. You either lose both and win the league, or keep both but lose the league this season.
It would be fine if we kept both and lost the league.
Okay. All right. Because you think you could still do it.
Yes, there's still...
If you have them for another 2 years, you could still go for it.
Yes, I believe so. The way we're playing, we're playing well. So if we, hypothetically, because we lose the league, it's for some, whatever, maybe injuries or something like that in this hypothetical scenario. We'll see what. But, I think that'll give Arne Slot the time to do his team. He knows what he has in Virgil. He knows what he has with Salah and the other players. He's gotten the best out of them. And I just think, if the hypothetical were to happen, I think we'd be going on cylinders again next year. But then again, we'd have, an Arsenal and a Man City that will be better positioned, and Chelsea as well. But, give credit to Arne Slot. He's able to win. We got 21 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss during this whole Premier League. And I think no one expected that, and it's showing. And like I said, this was supposed to be our toughest stretches of games. And we've won we won and drew. We didn't lose any of them at all. And I thought we were going to lose at least a game or two. And we just managed to do it. I know it's depth and everything. I know we have injuries. Joe Gomez played phenomenal. Allison's back, but I just think...
Injuries?
Yeah, we had injuries. Jota came back.
Injury?
We had... Allison was out.
I don't want to hear about injuries.
He played.
No, but I said he was out. But I'm saying we had injuries during the season, and yet we were still able to, injuries to Konate. So that's good, Joe Gomez.
Look at this guy talk about injuries.
Whatever.
Get out.
Well, it's not my fault. Our bench doesn't have kids on there. We have... experienced players. But still, I think it was a good showing from Arne Slot. Liverpool was expected, but I didn't expect this to be a 6-3 win. But, it just looks good for us.
Some of the goals that they scored, they were amazing. I mean, the assist on the first goal from Trent Alexander-Arnold
to Diaz, it was beautiful.
Luis Diaz, beautiful whipped-in cross from an early cross, and Luis Diaz with the header. But I can't help but think you have Romero and Van de Ven who are much taller than Dragusin and in a midfield or young kid in there. I just think one of them could get a header on that. You know what I mean? So I think if Tottenham have a better starting 11 for this game, maybe it could have been 3-3.
Yeah,
you never know.
Exactly. But that didn't happen.
Can say it's an excuse. Yeah.
Talk to me. Talk nice to me. I like that.
No, but like I said, I didn't expect this from Spurs to lose like this. I knew they were going to score a goal. 3 goals was more than I thought. But just knowing it wasn't the strongest Spurs team, but of course, like I said, you got to play with what is in front of you, and this is what we were dealt with, and we did what we needed to do. If it was a full Spurs team, I guess it would have been a little more competitive, but I still think, Arne Slot would have changed the tactics and we would have still been able to get a draw out of it. Ange only plays one way. Slot changes, he varies, but I mean, for now, it was a weak Spurs.
We have more matchups.
Yes, exactly. It was a weak Spurs. We did what we needed to do. We took advantage of it. We won. We win against in the way, and that's what we were supposed to do. We dealt with what we had in front of us, and we had a weakened Spurs team, and we took advantage of it, and we got the 3 points and take it. There you go. Just got to add salt to the wounds, bro. I got every right.
I just want to say it was a good showing, and
listen, I think this was like I said, a failure on the organization, but I am looking forward to our future matches up. Squid Games, yeah. This episode brought to you by Netflix. But I am looking forward to our next matchups. I think we're due back our center backs soon. If they get re-injured, then calling it quits for the season. But
it's home and away. It's home and away, so it should be interesting. So I think home and away.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Different. I think it's going to be a better picture then. Hopefully, like I said, our players look sluggish and these guys aren't getting rest. So I'm hopeful, but it's still going to be a rough.
Yeah.
All right, well, lots of games before the end of the year. Things could start looking up. Start the beginning of the year on the right foot. So you guys want to look into next match week? So we actually have 2 match weeks to look into.
Yeah.
So.
We gotta do a little quickie.
All right, a little quickie. All right, so we'll start with match day 18 here with Manchester City at home, who will be practicing on Christmas Day. They have as Walker mentioned,
Yes.
they have practice on Christmas Day. Maybe it's a punishment, maybe it's extra motivation. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I think they're naughty, so they got
um,
it. They got to do it today.
Yeah. So they at home hosting Everton, who could potentially hold into another draw or maybe do the impossible. Real quick, who do you guys think takes this one?
I think Everton. I think Man City. I think
City.
I
too.
think they managed to get
You
one.
don't think it's a draw? It's another draw?
No,
Nah.
I just think Man City is
yeah.
going to find a way. Haaland's going to score or something,
All right.
but Everton's luck is going to run out.
All right, then we'll move on to 10 a.m. games, and we have Newcastle at home hosting Aston Villa.
Ooh.
Is this a highlight week of the game?
I think so. I was about to say, I think so.
All
I think this
right.
one gets it.
Yeah, this is Newcastle at home, which seems to be their superpower, and Aston Villa away, which seems to be their superpower. They kind of seem to, at least to me, they look like they play differently when they play at home and when they play away.
Yeah,
They're definitely 2 teams that are comfortable without the ball. So I feel like we're gonna either see a deadlock or a very back-to-back game. Lots of counters and stuff, almost like the Tottenham Liverpool one. It was very back and forth.
yeah. I just think Newcastle at home is a different Newcastle than you get, and I just think Newcastle is going to find a way to win. It's going to be a back and forth game, but I just think Newcastle is going to do enough to get the win.
Yeah, they're riding high, but we'll see. We'll see those predictions.
Okay, let's do. All right, so then we also have Nottingham Forest at home hosting Tottenham, who are probably looking to get some revenge, right? They have a little bit of anger built up that they're going to be looking to take out.
Yeah,
and this is one of the teams that Tottenham need to be if they want to hope at getting a top 6 spot or even top 7.
Yeah, but I don't want to beat them because then we'll make it easier for Arsenal. So we'll see what we do.
But okay, we'll do give predictions at the end. But yeah, I think it's looking rough for Tottenham right now.
I think they'll pull this one out. I think
Forest at home.
I think they'll be able to best one.
No.
That's because they beat them. Don't be salty.
What? I give Nottingham credit. If they can beat Liverpool, guess what? They're going to be able to beat Tottenham, especially if they're at home.
Okay.
We've wounded Spurs too badly. They can't get on all fours.
You think they're still gonna be shook?
Yep, they're gonna be shook. They're gonna wait for the next year to hopefully bounce back.
These kids are 18. You know what 18-year-olds do? They forget.
Okay. Move on. Quick turnaround.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have 10 a.m. again at Bournemouth at home hosting Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, who just lost to Arsenal, and Bournemouth, who just beat Manchester United at Old Trafford. I'm going to give it to Bournemouth here.
Oh,
yeah, at home, Bournemouth,
sure. 6-1.
Ooh, I don't think so.
Yeah. If Arsenal can do it, they can do it.
All right, another 10 a.m. game. These are on my birthday.
Orale.
All right. That's a good way to. I'm gonna be having a 10 a.m. beer.
Oh yeah,
right. Go get your senior citizen discount. Get a beer.
Yeah, you get the discount. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then we have Chelsea at home hosting Fulham Arsenal 2.
That's another good game.
Yeah, London Derby, another one.
Chelsea.
This should be good.
Yeah, I believe Chelsea though.
Everton held them to a draw, so I think it's going to be a draw.
Yeah, but Chelsea's playing at home. Fulham, they had 3 draws. I just think Chelsea is going to find a way to get a goal.
I think it'll depend on what cleats Cucurella wears.
Oh,
but
Puma.
We'll see.
Puma.
All right, then we have Southampton at home hosting West Ham, who just played. No, they didn't just play.
That's another thing. We had a day less day of rest, but
come on.
Whatever.
Wow.
You're playing kids. Kids have all the energy right now. Don't play that. Give them sugar. Give them a Red Bull. They'll be fine.
And we played late on Thursday, so
but the sun was in her eyes. Come on, who's making excuses now?
we know that, and the United Spurs game went later than it should have, probably. But whatever. Tired legs, it's okay.
Oh, tired legs.
Tired legs, and we still scored 3 times.
Okay, hold up. Let me get my violin real quick, if I can find this world's smallest violin. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so Southampton against West Ham. Who takes it?
West Ham.
West Ham.
All right, yeah, West Ham. All right, then we move on to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 Mountain Time. We got Wolves at home hosting Manchester United. United coming from a loss, not in the best of form. Wolves turning things around. Who takes this one?
Wolves.
I think Wolves.
Wolves.
Now we just jinxed it, so it's gonna be a tie.
In that case, Man United win 3-0.
All right, then we move on to 3 p.m. late game. Liverpool at home hosting Leicester City.
Liverpool, easy, done. Next question.
I know Alan's gonna say.
Say, Alan, speak. You can speak. I'm waiting to use my bragging. I got my bragging rights ready. You don't know what that is because you ain't gonna win.
Then we have next day. We have Friday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We have Brighton at home against Brentford. The Seagulls versus Bees.
Brighton.
I'm gonna go Brentford.
I think Brighton.
Okay.
I think Brighton.
Then we have Arsenal at home, 3:15. Hosting Ipswich Town. Obviously, I'm going to go Arsenal, but I'll hold my scoreline to the end.
Yeah.
Have you guys played Ipswich yet?
I believe.
Yeah, we did.
Arsenal.
We beat them. All right, let's do scores for this match day, and then we'll move on to the next one. So the first game was the highlight game of the week. So we'll start with Alan. It was Newcastle at home hosting Aston Villa.
Newcastle 3, Aston Villa 2.
I'm going to say Newcastle 2, Villa 1.
No, you know what? I'm going to say Newcastle 2, Villa 2. I'm going to go for a draw.
Oh, okay.
I'm only trying to be different.
Yeah, I'm different.
What was Randy's?
2-1.
He said 2-1 to Newcastle. All right. Then we move on to Nottingham Forest at home hosting Tottenham.
What do you think? Your Spurs are going to get back in the winning column?
3-1 Spurs over Nottingham Forest.
Usually Alan says the mighty Spurs, but I guess they're not so mighty anymore.
He's dropped that.
I guess he's dropped it. I guess he's losing faith in his Spurs, but okay.
They're tired. I'm tired.
All right. Then we got Liverpool at home hosting Leicester City. Randy.
I think I'm at 3-0. 3-0 Liverpool.
James Vardy?
James Vardy,
Okay.
good luck.
You will be having a party. And then we have Arsenal at home hosting Ipswich Town, but their legs are not going to work like they used to. I'm going to say Arsenal 4-1.
You know whose legs don't work like they used to? Saka.
Oh, wow. Okay, so injuries are funny now. Okay. I'm going to clip it.
Clip it. It's bragging rights, bro.
Just wait until you get.
Then I can't wait to hear, Van Dijk's still out injured.
Whatever.
And that's why we don't have the lead anymore, and that's why City win the league.
You guys are wishful thinking. Did he rate that to Santa? Is Santa going to give you that?
All right, so move on to match day 19. Match day 19. This one starts this weekend with Sunday opening up 9:30 a.m. We have Leicester City at home hosting Manchester City.
Man City. City.
Yeah, City. After winning the week before, winning their last match, Leicester, I think they're going to lose this one.
Then we have Everton at home hosting Nottingham Forest.
Ooh, I say Forest.
Forest.
They're going to come off that Spurs win and they're going to keep going.
Ooh.
Okay. Ooh, Fulham Bournemouth. Is that?
Oh, that's a good game.
I'm going to go Bournemouth.
But is that going to be the
highlight game?
Highlight game? Or?
Not United Newcastle?
Oh, but it's just because it's, but if we're going on position of the table.
That's true.
I vote Fulham, Bournemouth.
All right, me too.
United is a little...
Fulham, Bournemouth. I agree. Let's do it. Something different. It's going to be
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Crystal Palace, Southampton. Crystal Palace at home.
Relegation battle.
Crystal.
Yeah, relegation battle.
Crystal Palace.
All right, Crystal Palace. And we have Tottenham at home hosting Wolves.
Easy
Wolves then? Okay.
Easy.
All right.
Okay.
They're turning around.
We'll see. We'll see. Everything's easy.
Roosters eat wolves.
Everything, he can get off the ball.
All All right. Then we have Fulham. The highlight game of the week: Fulham at home hosting Bournemouth.
We'll give our predictions at the end, I guess.
Yep. Then we have West Ham at home hosting Liverpool.
Easy.
Okay. How about Ipswich at home hosting Chelsea? Any surprise there?
Chelsea.
Maybe. I think
Yeah?
it'll be a tough game. I think that might be a draw.
I mean,
Okay.
Ipswich is a hard place to go, but I just think Chelsea are going to find a way.
They're going to draw to Fulham. They're going to draw to Ipswich.
Then Aston Villa at home against Brighton. There's another good game
Ooh.
here. Top 6 battle.
Villa.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Brighton.
This is a lose for Tottenham right here. This
Yeah,
game.
tie.
They both lose.
Then we have United versus Newcastle United.
Another important game
3
for
p.m.
Spurs.
on Monday. Yeah.
I think everything you wanted to go in your direction is not happening, Alan. So
Where you about it?
I'm going to be wearing a Fernandes jersey.
Oh, gosh.
And then we have Brentford at home hosting Arsenal. All right, now so right.
oh, that's
Easy,
a
easy.
Wednesday game.
Yeah,
damn.
Wednesday, January 1st. New Year,
Ooh.
first day of the year.
Brentford.
How many does Mbeumo put in? 3?
Nah.
Brentford playing.
Reset another 2?
Red card.
Ooh.
Brentford playing at home.
I think
They just
Brentford might
lost
take
at
this.
home. They just
I
lost
think
at home,
Brentford-
Brentford.
Yeah, but you don't got
Yeah, I
Saka,
think
so that's the
Brentford-
thing as well. So I think you know what? I think it's going to be a draw.
All right.
I'll think it'll be a draw.
He's not our only player. We're not like Liverpool who only count on
wow.
Salah.
Well, what was your excuse? Oh, we
Well,
didn't
then
have.
Odegaard
yeah,
goes down.
Odegaard. There you go. He's not our only player. Oh, but Odegaard's out.
And we still won plenty of games.
Won. You had like your worst stretch, but whatever. We'll see what happens. But I think it should be a
We're
good
still
game.
waiting for your stretch. Your cut's coming.
Our stretch already happened, and we passed with flying colors. We won on our toughest.
I'm not talking about
Oh,
on paper.
injuries?
I'm talking about you're gonna hit a bump. You're gonna hit a bump, right, Alan?
Yeah, it was the Nottingham Forest bump, and that was it.
Yeah.
Real quick.
It's coming.
Nah.
It's coming.
All right, let's go to predictions. So first game, Tottenham at home, Sunday, December 29, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Mountain Time.
Excuse me. Sorry, I sneezed.
Bless you.
It's going to be a 3-2 mighty Spurs victory.
Oh, now they're mighty.
Mm.
But Wolves, I know they have, they're trying to prove something, but not here. Not here. Not again. So,
Okay.
All right.
3-2.
All right, then we move on to Liverpool, West Ham at home hosting Liverpool. Randy.
I say 3-1. Liverpool.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have Brentford at home hosting Arsenal. And I am going to go 2-0. Arsenal win 2-0.
All right. And for the highlight
You sure?
game of the
Before we write
week,
it down, you can change it.
Should I go for more? 4-0?
let him.
We just put 5 Palace, please.
Oh, Palace, exactly. Palace.
Yeah.
Oh, did you beat Palace?
Last year.
Oh.
Okay. Don't worry. Let's go.
Okay. Now we got the highlight game of the week. Fulham at home hosting Bournemouth. Let's start with Alan.
I'm gonna do 2-1.
Fulham 2?
Bournemouth win. No.
Okay.
Fulham 1, Bournemouth 2. Or 1-2.
Randall?
2-0 Fulham.
Ooh. I'm going to go 2-1 to Fulham. Emil Smith
So
Rowe.
I'm the only one rooting for Bournemouth.
I mean, I'm not rooting for them, but I mean, I just think Fulham are going to surprise.
Yeah. I think they're going to pull it
This
out.
is also not a good matchup for you,
Yeah.
for Tottenham, Allen, right?
It's a long season. We have time to catch up.
Long
But you need to
season.
draw. You need to draw all these teams when they play each other. You need to draw from every single one.
But they need a draw, but
No,
they
we
also
have-
need
we have
Spurs
another
to
half.
win, which
We have another half of the season. Don't worry. I'm
Okay.
not worried.
Okay.
Don't be worried for it. Worry about yourself.
that's like an alcoholic says, I don't have a drinking problem. Or
If it was Angie, would be this is him. Oh, mate.
mate.
That was my impression.
Mate,
That's it.
I'm not going to change. Mate.
Oh, mate. I think I've been pretty clear, mate.
Oh, yes, I ain't going to change. It's going to be this way till the end of the season. I'm tired of it.
This
I'm
is my
tired of answering
This
this
is my
question.
Ted impression.
So On to the mini league here. Alan gets 0 points for. Damn, I really thought Tottenham would do something, but I guess not much could be done. I get a point for Arsenal beating Palace. And I said draw for this game to highlight game. Man, I just can't put my faith in Tottenham anymore.
I told you, but you don't want to root for the mighty Reds.
I guess it was wishful thinking, and then Randy gets 2 points for guessing a Liverpool win, and the highlight game doubles it. The standings are. Pat, I'm sitting in first with 25 points. Randy sitting second with now 19 points. And then Alan sitting in third with 11 points. Alan, you got to turn things around. You're going to have to start rooting against your team for these.
Nope. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate.
It ain't going to happen.
It's just who we are. Mate.
Crikey. All right.
Oh,
bad.
What? You're going to throw an Outback in there as well? Why not? Ship on the Bobby?
All right. Well, that's an episode. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening in. If you do us a favor, please download the episodes. Follow us on Instagram, Rivals on the Pitch. Lots of games here, 2 match days, 18 and 19. Things are heating up in the mini league. Title still a race. I'm excited to see the upcoming games and see what it looks like at the end of the year, and then what teams will start to do. We're definitely gonna have to start covering transfer news soon, and then the transfer window coming up should be exciting. That's it. I'm Pat,
and hope you got happy holidays. I'm Alan,
and I'm Randy. Woo woo on the top still.
For now.
Bye. See ya.